Hi Pisces, this is your general tarot for June. Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising. My light is just carked it, so I'm having to smudge with my candle. That's okay. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's get this waved around here. How are you guys? What have we got going on? So we're going to start with a romance oracle, just a general quick overview for y'all. What's going on here with the energies for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising for June? Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. Let's see what we've got here for you. Okay, thank you. Trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. All right. I feel like this is in relation to somebody maybe not I feel like there's somebody that is asking for the trust of their significant other, but they're not really giving them their own. Okay, does that make sense? You want the trust from them, but you're kind of not giving them anything to sort of have trust and faith in you. That's how this is coming through. I feel like there's also a message for some of you who are kind of, I feel like there's like a giving up. That's how this is coming through, like not having faith, giving up on love, giving up on I won't have that. It's just a sense of not being real with realizing that like you can have happiness. Hmm. Yeah. Also, I feel that there's somebody who is maybe not supporting their significant other with a plan or an idea or a venture of some kind, and you're kind of like, well, yeah, righto, you can, but I don't think it'll work out. There's a need to maybe have a little more faith in your person and thinking that they can, or they are making the right decision. Interesting. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, let's see what else we have for you guys. What do we got? Pisces. Yeah, supporting each other is what I'm hearing. Not enough support for the partner. Okay. All right, what do we got here? Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay. There's somebody that is caught up in a romantic situation with somebody, and your partner is manipulative. I feel like there's a feeling of being stuck, like you can't get away, you can't escape. I don't necessarily feel that this is a violent situation, but it's definitely one where you're feeling very suppressed and kind of just stuck. I feel that you're going to reach out to a neighbor about this, and they're going to be a level of support, And I do feel that there's going to be a separation as a result of this situation. I feel that perhaps your neighbor will come to you as a result of having an inclination about this. Um, the reason that this is relevant for you is because you need to know that yes, you can trust this neighbor. Yes, you can trust this person. Okay. Somebody is loving you. Someone is loving a Pisces this month. Um, I feel that this is somebody is like coming for you. They're like loving up your sick. They've got you in their eyeball, and they want this Pisces. And I feel that you may already be caught up with somebody else, and this kind of comes out of left field. I feel like this might even be somebody that you already know, and it's like you didn't even see this situation for what it really was, and they're just like, I love you. And you're like, what the heck? Um, be ready for that. And I know that I'm making it sound like a joke, and I don't mean to, but I feel like you're going to see it that way because it's just going to come so out of left field. You're not prepared for this at all. Um, that you maybe don't take it seriously. This person is they're not lying. They love you. They're being very honest. Um, it's going to catch you off guard. Around the middle of the month is when this will happen. And then I feel that there will be a bit of conflict. Um, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of inner conflict. You're going to struggle with the best way to approach this situation. This isn't even a scenario that was on your radar. You didn't even think that this was like, this wasn't going to happen. Like, what's going on? It's like completely and utterly caught you off guard. Um, if this isn't something that you want to pursue, you're going to have to be honest with this person, okay? Give it to them straight, give it to them kind, but be blunt. Okay. I feel like there's a bit of an imbalance for somebody here. I feel like somebody's spending a little bit, feeling obligated to spend a bit too much time at home, running around chasing after kids. There's a need to spend a little bit of time. There's a need to sacrifice a little bit of time and realize that your every waking moment doesn't have to be spent with your family. I feel that there's a bit of an imbalance in that your significant other does get that time for themselves and you kind of don't get that time for yourself. Um, there's a need here to, like, if you're feeling so bored, if you're feeling so trapped and run down and like there's no escape for you in a way, I feel like there's a need to be open and be honest and say, all right, look, I need some time for myself as well. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that your relationship's going to fall apart. It doesn't mean that you don't love your kids, and it doesn't mean that you don't love your partner. Everybody needs a break. Okay? That's that. I feel that this is in relation to a let me just see here what we've got here. Golly gosh. Somebody is having some form of conflict with one of their children. I feel that like this kid, your kid, this child, this kid, I don't feel like they're a child. I feel like they're they're old enough to know better, and they're just like spoiled, basically. I feel like you're feeling underappreciated, underloved. Um, like, how did we get here? How is this kid such a brat? This isn't a kid though. This is like early 20s, like not a kid, but old enough to know better. Um, I feel that a lot of the conflict comes as a result of the poor decisions that this child of yours makes. They're very flippant. I feel like in an instant they make a decision that's the wrong decision and they go with it. They feel obligated to go with it. And you're kind of struggling in a way to get them back on track and get them back in, or get them back like on track. Um, and they're very resisting. Like, they're not used to having you play this role. They're not used to having you tell it how it is. They're not used to having you go against what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it. And this is causing you guys to meet with some real conflict. I can see it's very stressful. It's very hard because you want to do what's right for your kids. You know, you're who they are, you're how they got to be who they are. But at the same time, it comes to a point where, yes, that's the case, and yes, they are spoiled in some ways, but they know better. All right, they do know better. They're not. You didn't raise them wrong. You just gave them the life that you wanted them to have. Um, how they're choosing now to deal with their life and to deal with their choices is to play the victim and not take ownership. And I know that that hasn't come from you. You haven't raised them like that. You've just, I feel like there's outside opinion as well, sort of telling you, oh, they're so selfish, they're so spoiled, you gave them too much, you give in to them too much. That's not so much the case. You provided them with everything that you wanted to provide them with. But there's a need to know that the decisions and that they're making now, they're making them themselves. They're not making these decisions because of the way that you raised them. Okay? They're choosing to make these decisions. It's not easy to watch your kids sort of go down these paths. You want to step in, and I can see that you're trying to do that. You're trying to have these tough conversations. But I get it, they're not going anywhere. You're having these conversations and you're being met with resistance. You're not getting anywhere. It's like you can see it for what it is. To you, it's black and it's white. To them, it's not quite the same. Okay, let me see. I feel that in relation to this child, they're obviously going through something. You know that they're going through something. There may even be a period of like withdrawal here. I feel that their judgment is clouded, whether this is the result of other people or substance or just their own views in general. But I feel that they're not in a mental state at the moment to even be able to make the right decisions. What is this? Is that you, darling? Yeah, definitely raise them right. I'm not seeing that they are who they are because they've chosen where they're going now. They're making these decisions. Okay, they're making these decisions themselves. Um, you did raise them right. You've put them up, provided them with what they needed, and it gets to a point where, for yourself, you need to, and it's okay to kind of remove yourself. It doesn't make you a bad parent, but they're like, this is an adult now. The decisions that this person is making, they're making these decisions for themselves, and there's no more that you can kind of do or say. Be there if they need you, be there, but don't feel like how this is coming through. It's like you don't need to enforce any particular direction on them. You don't need to, because they're not going to listen. It's almost like it's like they get a bit of a kick almost out of doing the opposite of what you suggest. Okay. And taking that step back for yourself, totally fine. That's how this is coming through. Totally fine. It's like, know when to go to battle, know when to retreat. And I feel like you've spent enough time going to battle, but how many times over can you keep fighting this same war and getting nowhere is what I'm seeing. So if you're taking that step back, I feel that that's exactly what you need to be doing. Okay. I hope that resonated for you there, darling. Thank you. That's right. You won't live forever. No, you're not enabling. You're doing the right thing. It's hard and it's tough, but from what I'm seeing here is you're doing the right thing. Okay. I see here too, somebody's made some changes recently, and this is change in terms of hang on a second. This is like taking yeah, okay. This is change in terms of taking an idea and running with it. I can see that the idea sort of started from something pretty basic, like an interest. Oh, okay, baking. I just heard baking. Okay, so this is like something that you've done forever, and somebody said to you one day, why don't you start doing it like this, or why don't you could start making money off this, or you could do it in this way and make some dollars. And you're going to enact that. I feel that there's a bit of a windfall that comes from this, in a sense of when you get going, it's kind of like this thing gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I definitely see doing stuff. I feel like you started it around like small, maybe making cakes and stuff for family and friends, maybe even like kids. What is this? Like canteens, school canteens and stuff. But this is getting bigger, and I see that there's a need to branch out. Social media is going to be a big one for you. Instagram, Facebook, specifically. In order to anytime you make something, what I'm seeing here is anytime you make something, take a photo of it and promote it online, because I feel that this is going to help you to drum up some business, and I think that this is going to gain momentum. This is something that you're going to become quite passionate about, and I feel that rather than this being something that's done on the side, it's going to take the forefront. Momentum will start. This is something that you're already doing, but I'm not sure if the social media stuff has already started or not. But once you start that social media stuff, it's the momentum. That's when the momentum is going to start, okay? It might take a little while initially, but you're not even worried about that. I feel like you've got enough to do as it is. So when the social media stuff, just be prepared for the fact that when you get going online, things are going to progress. Okay? Excuse me. Right, I'm baking. Oh, awesome. Thank you, darling. I'm glad that this is resonating for you. On that note, I'm going to leave it there for you guys. I hope that you have a great month. It looks like there's a lot coming in for y'all, which is great. Do let me know if the messages resonate, and I will come back and check the comments a little bit later. But you can also reach out. I've linked in the comments here my Facebook page. Go on, have a look. But yeah, love and light to you all. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Okay, bye.